Hello and welcome to the latest webinar from Essent. Today we're going to take an inside look at EssentOne, specifically in terms of managing customers and managing orders. We're going to take a look at a dropship order from start to finish so you can see for yourself the power of processing orders in EssentOne. My name is Doug Brill. I'm the Essent Marketing Coordinator and I specialize in the promotional products industry. I'm also your moderator for today. Before we begin, a very brief overview of Essent. Essent is the leader in providing comprehensive business management solutions since 1981. Essent has been serving distributors, decorators, and suppliers in the promotional products industry since the year 2000. And more than $3 billion in commerce flows through Essent solutions each year. We want to answer everyone's questions in a way that's sensitive to your time and everyone's time. So if you do have questions, we ask that you please submit them in the webinar dashboard. And then we'll be happy to answer those questions after the webinar has ended. EssentOne is a fully integrated business management system. That means that from product research all the way out to accounting, information is going to flow automatically from one step to the next. That puts an end to rekeying data, and it means everyone is going to have the information they need to do what they do best. So today we're going to look at the employee-facing portion of Essent, namely the EssentOne Business Management System. But I'd also like to point out that in addition to your back-office solutions, Essent also offers customer-facing solutions such as e-commerce websites and company stores. And Essent also offers vendor-facing solutions, such as integration with your suppliers. Here's a top-level look at what EssentOne does. You can see it touches every part of the transaction lifecycle, from sales and marketing all the way out to accounting. And the portion we're here to focus on today is CRM and order management, and how EssentOne handles sales in the back office. And to show you that is your presenter, Brian Schaefer. Brian is the Vice President of Sales for Essent, and he's also a specialist in the promotional products industry. Brian will tell you a little bit more about how EssentOne helps you manage customers and orders. Then he'll take you inside EssentOne so you can see it for yourself.
All right, thank you, Doug. As an introduction to EssentOne, some of the things we're going to be looking at today will include, as with any CRM package, is customers. We're going to look at some of the customer detail, contact detail, and information we track on customers. We're also going to look at opportunities and sales forecasting. We're going to look at quoting and presenting sales presentations to your prospect. We're going to show how EssentOne works with industry-specific product research tools. EssentOne also includes activities, which is your calendar of events and to-dos and follow-ups to keep you organized. We're going to show how EssentOne enforces your business rules, and we're going to look at a sales order process of how you manage sales orders within EssentOne. So with that being said, we're going to jump into EssentOne and show you what it looks like. So here's a view of the dashboard of EssentOne, and as we jump in, the first thing you see is controlled by your permissions. So right now I'm logged in as a sales rep, so I'm seeing my dashboard of my past sales performance, my current tasks to do, and my future events. So here, starting at the past, I can see my sales numbers the last month, 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, and with that, I can see my total sales volume, the cost of those orders, and my profitability since I'm being paid commission based on my profitability. I can also look at all the orders I'm responsible for. And I can see what orders are my customers expecting to receive today, this week, what orders are past due, what orders are hold from my accounting team. So maybe they're over their credit limit or their credit card's expired, and what orders are hold operationally. Maybe we're waiting for artwork from the customer, we're waiting to hear back from the vendor. One of the nice things about EssentOne is not only is it this dashboard for information, but it gives you clear action items. So if I want to follow up on my orders, I can just click on the number, and that dashboard turns into an open order report here of the orders I need to follow up on. So here, as I look at a summary of my orders, I can see the customers, the dollar value, the profitability, what's been shipped, what's been invoiced, what's been paid, and what's been vouched. So I have a summary of all my orders. If I want to see the detail of a specific order, I can jump into that order and see the summary of that order. And again, at the order level here, I can see what's been shipped, what's been vouched, and what's been invoiced. Additionally, for even further granularity, I can jump into the details of the order and see the line item status. For every item, product, services, and charge on the order, I can see what's been completed and what's not been completed and where it's at. So I have the ability to view a dashboard summary, a report of all my orders, the details of a specific order, or the details of specific line items within an order, depending on the granularity I'm looking for. As we jump back to the dashboard here, in addition to orders, I can have activities. So activities are my follow-up to-dos or my calendars of events. Again, I can see what do I need to do today, this week, this month, and I could, again, clear action items to drill into what needs to be done when. EssentOne also manages your quotes. Quotes allow you to set an expiration date of how long the pricing is valid for. So sales reps know when to follow up on those quotes based on those pricing rules. And again, you can click into the detail and see the quotes that are expiring, the date they're expiring, the dollar value, and the sales rep can stay organized to close those quotes. Last but not least, and we're going to get into a little bit more detail in a few minutes here, are opportunities. Opportunities are your sales forecast, which allows you to forecast future events, future sales, both by the date you expect to close it, as well as the dollar value and the probability of closing. So as a rep, you can see how your spring and summer is going to look, and as an organization, I can aggregate that among sales reps to see how my year's going to look. With any CRM tool, one of the key components is managing the customer data. So as we look here, again, permissions control what I can see. So in this example, I can see my customers, but I can't see customers of other sales reps. I can come in here and I can search for an organization, scroll through it, or just click on the organization I want. So here, as we look at Acme as our sample customer, I can see their logo, their address, their primary buyer, our sales team. And one of the unique things about EssentOne is customer-specific pricing. So as I add products to the order here in a few minutes, you'll see that the pricing defaults based on the customer classification. Bronze, silver, and gold are just my examples. You can call them whatever you wish, for example, wholesale, retail. So what that does is you can define your business rules. For example, a bronze customer, I could say, is a new client, so they have a 50% markup. And a gold customer is a preferred customer that receives a 20% markup. So again, as I add products to the order, the pricing will automatically default based on that classification. As we continue to manage the customer, obviously you can manage your addresses. Each address can be designated as a bill to or a ship to address, so to enforce how that address can be used later on down in the order process. So if something is a dropship address, I can't bill there by mistake, or if something is an administrative billing address, I'm not going to ship there by mistake. I can also manage my contacts. So these are all the people within Acme, and for each contact I could drill into the details of that and again see all the relevant contact information, phone, email, etc. We do integrate with the web as well if you're managing customer company stores. We're not going to get into that detail today, but the integration is there for those who need that. Properties are user-defined fields. So anything you want to search, report, or filter on, you can add as your own criteria. So, for example, if I had an overrun of purple shirts and I wanted to run a report of companies whose primary logo color is purple, I can set it up as a property, and then my sales reps can filter and search and make sales calls based on that criteria. You can also store any electronic file in a customer folder. So files can include artwork, as in this example, or credit application, or anything you want to store in that customer folder. We looked previously at activities of my calendar of to-dos. Here are the activities from the customer view. So this is everybody who's touching this client. So as a sales rep, I can see if somebody else is making a collection call or somebody else followed up with artwork. I can see anybody else touching my customer other than myself. One of the most important components of EssentOne is how we tie the CRM into the order processing. So Here's where we can set the business rules that will pre-populate our order entry. So the idea here is to be able to generate sales orders with the minimum keystrokes possible. So in this example, I can take a look at their shipping rules. So if 90% of the time I'm shipping to Birmingham, Alabama by UPS ground, I can set that business rule up, and now all my orders will pre-populate that, so 90% of my orders I don't have to touch shipping. I still have the flexibility to manage exceptions for the other 10%, but now EssentOne is managing the 90% and I only have to worry about the 10%. Your invoicing rules are dictated by the accounting engine. So in this case, I can define their terms. They gave me a blanket PO. Things like overrun, underrun. Do I allow an overrun and do I charge them for that? Do I allow an underrun and do I reduce the invoice for that? So again, as I do order entry, I don't have to go into every single item and dictate my overrun rules. The system can default that based on the customer preference, and again, my job is just to manage the exceptions. As I take you through an order here in a few seconds, you're going to see that there are documents that get delivered out to the customer. So your quote, your sales order acknowledgement, your shipping confirmation, your invoice, your past due statement, etc. With each document, you can define who it goes out to and how it goes out to. So in this example, the customer's billing contact gets the invoice emailed to them. Internally, my collection contact gets a carbon copy of that, and their project manager gets a printed copy mailed to them. So at the end of the day, when you've got 30 invoices queued up, you don't need 30 post-it notes saying, email this one, fax this one, give these guys 3 copies, this one 2 copies. All you do is click a single button saying deliver. Some will go out by email, some will go by fax, some will be printed, some will have 3 copies, some will have 2 copies, and again, the process is automated by the setup of the client. EssentOne does integrate with company stores and e-commerce, so we're not going to get into that today, but here's where you can dictate those web rules and web reporting. Last but not least here, in the customer detail, you can set up an order approval process where when your customer places an order will automatically go on hold, and then the client's supervisor can approve or reject that order. So that gives you a summary of the CRM. I'm now going to walk you through the sales order cycle here from opportunity to quote to sales order. So as we do that, keep in mind you dictate your process. So if you wanted to start with a quote, you could skip an opportunity. If you want to start with the sales order, you could skip the quote. So I'm going to walk you through the steps here, but again, you could dictate your individual process. So an opportunity, again, is a future event that I'm forecasting for. So we'll call this our future event to be creative. I can say when that future date is and say that's going to be coming up here in April. And I can set the date of the event. I can select the customer that I'm going to close, so we'll use our customer Acme for that. I can define which contact person am I following up with at Acme. So let's say we're going to work with Hope here. So I can select Hope, confirm that she's the contact we're going to work with. It will obviously default to me as the sales rep. So I've got this opportunity now, and I can define what that is, and I can say this is a distributor, this is a end user showcase that I want to be prepared for, and we project that we're going to do about $5,000 in sales to the products, and I'm probably going to do another $1,000 in decorating services. So I can project this future event here that's coming up, and I can do everything I need to do to prepare for that so we can close that on April 21st. Additionally then, as one of the unique things about EssentOne is you have control of your own unique business process. So in this example, to close a future opportunity, you could define what information you want your sales reps to capture. So in this example, my questions, again, this could be modified by you, say I can confirm in order to close it, I need to know who the decision maker is. So I can say I know Hope is the person with the purse strings here. I can see their budget is $6,000, and questions like, did you provide a presentation yet? Did they send a sample out yet? So as a sales rep, it enforces that you're doing the steps that the organization wants you to follow. As a manager, I can come in and see where's my sales rep at in this funnel. What steps have they done? What steps haven't they done? And how close are they to closing this? So as they go through and complete these, then I can see where they're at in that funnel. From there, the sales can generate the follow-up activities. So I can generate a follow-up to do and say we're gonna call and close this. We're gonna follow up with the vendor, whatever follow-up activities we need to do. So it'll be on my calendar. It'll pop up and remind me what steps I need to do to be able to close this opportunity. So now we've gone from CRM to the customer details to this future opportunity. We're all organized with what steps need to be done. So now we're ready to generate the quote to the client. So here I can come in and I can create a new quote. And as I do that, the quote will automatically populate with the customer and the contact person that I'm working with, as well as myself as the sales rep. I can project the enhanced date of when we want to be able to complete this by so we can stay on track. And now we're ready to create this quote. So the first thing we're going to do for a quote is we're going to add some products to this quote. And I'm going to show you two different examples of types of products that you can use with EssentOne. So the first option is a custom product. So this is something I've never sold before. I've got to go out and do product research. I've got to find the product. It's not something I've handled before. So I can come in here, and when I find that, I can enter this free-form custom product right into the quote. So I can actually do the product creation inside the quote here, where I can define the supplier, the SKU, the description, the pricing, all the information relevant to this product right here in the quote detail. But if we're going to go out to product research, even better yet, let's integrate with product research and bring that in automatically. So here I'm going to use ASI's ESP as an example of product research. So let's say I want to sell a mug, and my preferred vendor for that is Baltimore Glass. So I'll just do a search in ESP for a Baltimore mug, and as I search for that, it actually opens up ESP within my interface, comes back and gives me the search results directly from ESP inside of EssentOne. So here I can scroll through the search results and select the mug I want. So I really like this Toledo mug, so I can select that. And all the information from ESP flows in here without me having to key any information in. So I've got the vendor, I've got the description, I've got the price, I've got the quantity breaks, it's all there. So all I've got to do is enter my quantity of this, and for posting reasons I can come in here and define my category and subcategory. There we go. And at that point, I can just click to add it to the order. So now that information is going from ESP into my quote, and all I had to do was do the search and click one button, and the quote is populated. Another one of the very powerful tools of EssentOne is the industry-specific product configurator. So what that does is it allows you to define what information you want your order entry, your sales team to capture based on the type of product. So you're in control to make sure you have the information you need to process the order. So for a mug, for example, looking at my examples of information here, I have a configuration set up where it asks me to confirm if we're decorating it or not, how many colors in the logo, and asks me to actually confirm the logo that we're going to use on this mug. So I can select that, upload that. So now that artwork is stored with this mug. It'll go all the way out from quote to sales with the purchase order to the vendor, so I've got the information I need. So this ensures that my team captured the proper information. This information can be on the quote to the customers so they're signing off on accurate specs. And probably the most important thing right now, as we complete the quoting phase here, is we want to make sure that the pricing is accurate. So as I answer these questions, it'll automatically add the details to this quote. So because I said I want to decorate it, it added the setup here for $40, and because I had more than 2 colors, it added another $250. So this quote just adjusted by $42.59, and all my order entry person had to do was answer the questions, and everything is priced accurately based on the parameters that I had previously defined. So that's a custom product that I got from ESP. The second type of product we're going to look at is something that you have predefined. So this could be, so this is your now in your internal catalog. So this could be items that you've sold before. It could be items that are physically in inventory. It might be an item that's on your website even though it's not physically in stock, but you've got all your descriptions and pricing defined. So the customer wants a polo shirt, so I can scroll through, select the polo shirt that they like, add that to the quote. In this case, I can add multiple sizes, multiple colors, all from one screen. So let's say we want the medium baby blue. If it is physically in inventory, it will show you the inventory counts from the fulfillment side. In this example, the product's not in inventory, so it's a product I don't carry. So again, I can add it here to the quote. And again, we have the product configuration engine, and obviously we need to capture different information for a shirt than we do for a mug. So as we look at this for the shirt, it's going to ask me the logo location. Do we want it embroidered or silk screen? Is it a new logo or an existing logo? Do I want a second logo? And do I want that on the back? So again, you can define what information you want to capture. And when you mark that complete, again, that's going to update the pricing of this shirt based on how I answered that. So in this example, it adds the embroidery to the front and back, the tape creation for the new logo, and again, the extra color chart. So I can see that, we have about an $80 price difference based on how I answered those questions. Everything is accurate. From there, once that quote is complete and I have the items on there, I can email that quote directly out to the client. So as I do this, it'll generate the quote for me. It generates a PDF of that quote, and what it does, the template is customized by you. So you can define information like, do you want the images to show in the quote, yes or no? Do you want multiple products on a page or a single product per page? Do you want to show the price levels? So based on my preference as a sales rep or this customer's preference, I can select the appropriate template, email that out, and then the client can then approve that quote. So once they approve that quote, now all I do is click a button and that quote now is transferred from a quote to a sales order. And if we come back here for a second here and take a look at the update of this, if I look at this, I can see we've gone from the CRM detail, completed all of our survey and the sales process, quoted them, and now we have a pending sale here. So it takes me through that sales life cycle. So now as we jump back to this order, the next step says we're going from CRM to quote to sales order. The next step is the business rules for order processing. So this is where it pre-populates the information we looked at previously. So the shipping information shows me everything that was designated as a shipping address. It shows me the default shipping address, the default shipping method. I can select from the predefined shipping addresses. I can add a new address, so I always have the flexibility to manage the exceptions. I can take a look at the invoicing from the accounting side. So the accounting engine has dictated their credit limit, their credit terms. One of the additional nice features of EssentOne is the flexibility that you can invoice at any time. So, for example, I've got a mug and a shirt. So let's say the mug ships this week and the shirt doesn't ship for 3 weeks. If I set it to invoice based on each item being shipped, it will invoice for the mug this week and the shirt in 3 weeks. The idea is as soon as something ships, if I can invoice quicker, in theory I can get paid quicker. So that gives me the advantage from the cash flow side. If you prefer not to split it up into multiple invoices, you can say I'm going to wait till the order is completed and the last shipment goes out the door. So in that same scenario, the mug ships now, the shirt ships in 3 weeks. In 3 weeks it will generate the invoice for the entire order. The third option is to wait until your bills come in from the vendor. So even if everything ships today, we're going to wait until I have all my costs in from the vendor, and then from the vendors in this case, and then based on my job costing, I can then invoice. So again, with EssentOne, you can invoice at any time. I can ship it, invoice it, and job cost it later. I can ship it, job cost it, and then invoice it. Or the last option is I could do a pro forma invoice and invoice it up front, even though nothing has shipped or been job costed yet. So we give you the option to ship at any time, and at the end, your job cost will be complete and your invoice will be complete. You can also record a prepayment on the order, so you can accept a deposit on it or a payment on that order, and that'll come off the end, and we're only going to invoice for the balance due. You can also set up activities and artwork at the order level. there's complete commission management in EssentOne. So for each order, for each sales reps, you can define what that commission table is going to be. So in this case, I have a sliding scale based on the profitability, and in my example, it's going to pay commission, paid on paid. So I can come in and see what's commissionable, what's not commissionable, and I can just confirm the sales rep of who's getting that and set that up, and it'll show me that Jim is getting $150 on this order. You can see right now it's set as an estimate because my commission is based on profitability and we didn't get our bills in yet. So from the accounting engine, as you receive the bills in, it'll automatically adjust the commission based on the actual cost. And then in summary of the order, I can see the financial summary of the price I'm selling it for, the cost I'm buying it for, any rebate or royalty programs I'm paying out, my margins, my profit, my commission, and my net profit. So it gives me that financial summary of the order. And then a one-page complete summary from the artwork to shipping to billing to product all the way out to the finances, the commission details are visible for that one-page summary. So now we've gone from CRM to opportunity to quote to sales order. So the last step for today is we're going to generate the purchase orders. So here I've got 3 different vendors all associated with this same sales order. So each purchase order, I can dictate where it's going to ship. Is it going to ship to me? Is it going to ship to the customer? So I could say, for example, Sanmar is going to ship directly over to my decorator, and I can select the decorator, and now I can generate my 3 different purchase orders. So each purchase order, I also have the ability to scroll into the detail, see the items, everything associated with that purchase order, and then when I've approved that, I can submit that, and it'll deliver that purchase order out to my supplier. Each purchase order can be delivered based on a supplier preference. So it can go out by email, by fax, or by EDI through the OrderTrax network. So now I've gone from CRM to opportunity to quote to sales order to purchase order. The sales order acknowledgement is out to the customer, and the purchase orders are out to the vendors. So that gives you a summary of EssentOne. So with that being said, now we're going to wrap up our conclusion here. So in summary, what we just looked at, we looked at the customer management, so everything expected from the contacts and the phone numbers. We looked at the business rules and how the system will manage the 90% and you just manage the 10% of the exceptions. We looked at the detail of opportunities in sales forecasting, how sales can manage their funnel, sales reps can stay on track, and management can see as an organization what we have coming down the pipeline. We looked at quoting, emailing out a PDF, and how that, at a single click, that quote can become a sales order. We looked at how we integrate with product research, of how we went out, we could pull the product data in with a single click, it came right into our quote, and all the product configuration and business rules applied even to items we're pulling in from a third party. We also looked at activities in your calendar of events, your to-dos, how that can assist your staff to stay on track of following up on quotes and on delivering samples, on following up with vendors for pricing or customers for artwork. We looked at all the business rules that are enforced by EssentOne, overrun, underrun rules, the accounting rules of the terms and the credit limit, how addresses were enforced, so whether it's a billing address or a shipping address, and how pricing was automated based on the customer classification. And then we looked at the total order management of the product configuration, of how that make sure we were capturing the correct information and make sure the pricing was correct, enforced all the business rules, and showed how it flowed from one step to the next, from quote to sales order to purchase order without rekeying any information. So that gave you your summary of EssentOne today. With that, I'm going to turn it over to Doug to tell you how you can find out even more information.
Thank you very much, Brian. The best way to learn more about EssentOne is to get your own one-on-one demonstration. Just visit essent.com/EssentOne demo to schedule a free session for you and your company. You'll be able to view and review the specific features that interest you the most, and we'll be able to answer all the questions that you may have. Again, that's essent.com/EssentOne demo to schedule your own session to learn more. Thanks again to everyone for attending today's webinar, EssentOne, a fresh yet completely familiar way to manage the critical parts of your business.